Yo, welcome to another episode of EmpireJeffTV. I am your host, Empire Jeff, coming to you on a Monday night live from Los Angeles, California, at night with the Los Angeles Dodgers defeated the lowly, yet annoying tonight Colorado Rockies, man, at Dodger Stadium tonight. Rockies were kind of pesky tonight, man. Rockies were kind of pesky. They went into San Diego, had 3 games, did not score a single run in 3 games in San Diego, and then come into Dodger Stadium and score 3 runs and make it a game, and made the 9th inning a little close for comfort for a lot of people. And the bullpen has been a little bit of erratic to start this season. And we're going to touch on that amongst other things. So appreciate you being here. Make sure to drop a like on the way in as you guys come in. Subscribe to the channel if you are new. We would greatly appreciate it. Now, this Dodger team is still not playing its best baseball. They're still kind of going through it. Dustin May was dominant tonight. Mookie had an early home run. Will Smith chipped in here. Kike had an RBI hit. And outside of that, the Rockies, it was kind of a quiet game for most of it. And then as they started to kind of chip away and get in there in that game, they made it 5-3. And it started to feel like it was going to be one of those games like, man, Dodgers, don't blow this. Don't blow this. There was a game down in San Diego where the Cubs were up 3-0 on the Padres and ended up just getting waxed, completely waxed. Cubs had that game, completely gave it away. And I'm like, do not let the Dodgers fumble this game on a night when that happened. And then you had the San Francisco Giants going into Philadelphia. They got down 3-0 to start that game and then pulverized them. So I'm like, the Dodgers cannot blow this game and lose another game in the standings, even though it's early. Like, keep pace. And when you hit a little bit of a stride, you're going to pass these guys up, in a couple of weeks. But my thing is, these other teams are off to great starts. The Dodgers, even while struggling, they're still right there. And Dustin May was a story, man. 6-inning pitch, only 1 run given up, 3 hits. Phenomenal performance for Dustin May tonight. When healthy, he's filthy. We know this to be true. When healthy, he is filthy. He's got to stay healthy. He's got to stay durable. He's got to stay available. He's got to stay ready. He had that pitch moving. The movement on it was crazy. The sweeper was making people look foolish. Everything about his game tonight was great. Even when we got in a little bit of heat, he was fine. He was good. He was able to locate his pitches. He was able to get the movement on the baseball. His team gave him some run support,
Gave him all he needed. Then Banda gives up a 2-run home run. Kirby Yates was not fresh. He was not great out there. Got it done. And then Tanner Scott got into a little bit of traffic there in the 9th inning and got out of it. So this bullpen's going to have to start figuring some things out. They're going to have to start figuring some things out because they're not where they're going to be. They're not where they need to be. I'm not really concerned about a lot of things with this team. The 7 through 9 part of the lineup has been a struggle, obviously. Muncy has been a struggle. The bullpen has been a little bit of a struggle. Even some of their starters have had brutal starts. But that's baseball. That's baseball. And you got times where guys play above their heads. You got times where guys play below what you expect of them. And right now, I wouldn't even necessarily say that these guys are having a terrible stretch. They're just having an unfortunate stretch. They're fielding. Muncy with another throwing error today. He had a ball where he kind of booted it there, led to a run there that I don't know why that didn't become an error and they gave Dustin May an earned run there. But the defense has not been fantastic. They've got to shore that up. But the starting pitching tonight, Dustin May, incredible. And like I said, the bullpen shaky. Shout out to Mookie, Will Smith, Kike, Freddie out there grinding it out. You guys know, on the Teoscar Hernandez one, you guys know that I kind of said about a week ago before this started coming out. That's before the news broke on that the Dodgers, that stomach bug or whatever Mookie had has been making its way through the team since it happened. And more guys are being affected by it. And it's kind of getting towards the tail end of it. It's getting towards the end. But Teoscar Hernandez was the latest one to suffer from that. So that's going to be something that the Dodgers just had to deal with. They were dealing with it. And now as they are kind of getting towards the back end of that, finally, hopefully, maybe they can put that behind them because the whole team pretty much has been affected by this. And not just the team, staffers, even some media guys got sick. So it was just it's crazy what the Dodgers have been dealing with to start the season from a health perspective, even down to just getting sick. So it happens. They're just going through it. And even with that being done, the Dodgers still are off to an incredible start. They're still out there winning baseball games. They're not leading the division, and that's okay. But at the end of the day, they're still off to a great start. If this was any other year where guys weren't playing above their heads, then you probably just think about this as just another fantastic start to the Dodgers season. You'd be like, they're winning even though this is happening. They're winning even though this is happening. Like, that would be the talk. But being as the Dodgers, why is the San Diego box score coming up for the Dodger game? Give me 1 second here. Even though the Dodgers have been through it kind of here, they're still 12-6, third in the NL West. But like I said, San Francisco playing above their head. San Diego's playing great. It just is what it is tonight. But Dustin May, phenomenal. And the Rockies, you got to give them credit where credit is due. This dude Kyle Farmer's off to a solid start here, man. He's off to a solid start for them. The only bat that really had it going coming into this game. Other guys had some hits. He got it going again. If not for that pickoff by Kirby Yates, this game gets very, very interesting. If not for that pickoff. But the Dodgers defense got to get it together here. I did see earlier today that Clayton Kershaw was going to make a rehab start coming up soon. So they're getting closer to getting him back. Whether or not certain people are excited about that or not. But they are getting closer to getting Kershaw back, which is another arm and another guy there in case one of these guys go down. I know that Blake Snell started playing catch, so he's closer to coming back. Tony Gosselin is closer to coming back. Like I said, Kopech was reported to be missing the first month of the season. That's getting closer to a return here. Gratterall is going to miss the first half. Phillips going to still miss some time. So when we get all of our guys back, get all of our things going, this team, Freddie is still not right. He is still hobbled. You can see him when he was running around the base. You can see him when he was fielding. Freddie is still going through it. That ankle appeared to be doing much better. Then he had that incident where he slipped in the shower, and now it's kind of rearing its ugly head again and causing him some discomfort. And he's out there doing his best to play. He's doing his thing. And like I said, Teoscar, the latest one to get sick. And hopefully that's working its way through. So appreciate you guys once again for chiming in here. I'm Empire Jeff. This is EmpireJeffTV. Drop a like on the video. Subscribe to the channel. You become a member to the channel. Click that join button. Hit the first link in the description. For less than the cost of lunch, you can become a member for an entire month. Shout out to all the current members out there. You are greatly appreciated. You can also get your MLB, NBA, NFL gear, and more. Make sure to use our link at Fanatics to get special discounts, and your purchase also helps support the channel because we have partnered with the good people at Fanatics. When you order through them via us, they take care of the channel because we sent you their way. So your Dodger jerseys, your Laker jerseys, memorabilia, hoodies, caps, mugs, whatever it is, tap our link, get it at Fanatics, NFL.com, NBA.com. It's all coming from the same warehouse, the Fanatics warehouse. Make sure to follow on all socials, EmpireJeffTV, on Twitter, X, IG, here on YouTube, as well as TikTok. Make sure to follow us over there, man. The page is growing. Page is growing over on TikTok, man. Getting a lot of engagement over there, man. It's a whole different world over there. So make sure to follow on all the socials. And shout out to those who already have done so already. So what you guys think of this win tonight, man? Was it one of those like a win is a win situations, typical grinded out baseball game? What did you guys think about it? After the last two games against the Cubs, it's good to get in the win column. It's good to not get blown out 16-0, right? It's good to not have a team grind out a win on you. It felt like Chicago was taking their hot bats down to San Diego, and it kind of fell apart. They scored enough runs, but they just couldn't stop San Diego from scoring. And the San Diego team is coming out the gate like bullies, man. They're coming out the gate like bullies. And if the Dodgers are going to have to send a message to them when they go out there in June. They're going to have to send a message to them, man, because they're coming out the gate like bullies. San Francisco 49ers, the San Francisco Giants, man. I watched a lot of that game earlier today because it was an early start. That team, man, gets timely hitting. It hadn't even really been getting anything from Adames yet, and he had a home run today. So he finally kind of snapped out of his Giants funk. So that team, they got guys who are not playing at their best, and they're still playing very well. Now, let's see if this maintains. Let's see if this holds up. But you remember what happened in 2021? We just kept feeling like, yeah, this isn't going to last. This isn't going to hold up. They're going to fall apart eventually. They just never did. The only time the Dodgers have lost a division in like 15 years, right, was that to that 2021 Giants team. And then we faced them in the playoffs and knocked them out. But that took a lot out of the Dodgers that season, that series, facing them. So it's been a whole different world for the San Francisco Giants to start this season after a terrible season last year. And the Arizona Diamondbacks have not been playing well. Obviously, the Colorado Rockies, they're like 10 games back already to start the season. Season's over, and it's only a couple weeks in. They're the team that has scored the fewest amount of runs in baseball while giving up the most amount of runs in baseball. So simple math tells you what the run differential is for a team like the Colorado Rockies this season. They've just been terrible. They've been horrible. Okay, let's get to some more comments here. Don't care what's going on, my guy, man. The bullpen giving me anxiety. It's been tough. They got it done tonight, but they have not been perfect. They have not been great. Tonight was another one of those nights. Chris, what's going on, brother? Appreciate you, my guy. Thank you for tuning in. Nando says, Scott looking shaky as a closer so far. Yeah, he's not looking his best. No one in the pen is looking at their best. Dreyer might be one of the guys that are out there. When he goes out there, I'm like, okay, this guy's got it. He's looking real good. But some of the other guys just haven't been doing it. What's going on, Craig? Appreciate you, man. Thank you for tuning in over on Playback today when we were doing the game. My first game of baseball this season. So appreciate you for tuning in. Make sure to join my Playback room, y'all. Free baseball. You get to watch the Dodger game with me, Laker game with me, whatever game I'm watching for free. The first 20 people in there get a free VIP pass to watch. So make sure to tune in, join the room, search if you're in here. I haven't got to your chat yet. I'm sure you're in here. Please drop the Playback link to the room so people can join that room for free. What's going on? Don't care. Appreciate you. Let's see. Dan Inspiration says Shohei with 5 home runs but only 6 RBIs is wild. Those 7, 8, 9 hitters really hitting 0 needs to change. Yeah, or they may have to start putting Shohei in the 2 slot. They may have to move him back to 2 to get a guy out in front of him. But he should have had 3 home runs tonight. Those 2 that died at the wall there, that both the center fielder and right fielder and the center fielder and left fielder couldn't really make cleanly, right? But they got the out. But Shohei easily could have had 3 home runs tonight, and that's crazy in and of itself. Daniel Berry, what's going on, man? Go Dodgers. Hey, everyone. Appreciate you there, Search. What's going on, my brother? Appreciate you for tuning in. As always, Search the mod god, the mod father, the god mod. Search and destroy. Muncie is awful. He's been awful. And his glove wasn't doing it tonight either. So that's kind of disturbing. Tonight was 1 for 13, the bottom of the lineup. Yep. They're going to have to do some shifting around. I think they're waiting to see what happens with this center field situation in the coming days. I know that they put Edman in center field today. They had Pages in right, Conforto in left. You had Kike at second. But they're going to start mixing some stuff up. They're definitely going to start mixing some stuff up there. And Conforto, I still got some high hopes for it. Just not doing too great. They left way too many runners on base tonight. They did. What's going on, Rand? If the bottom three are hitting sub 200 by the All-Star weekend, do we see trades to replace Muncy, Kike, Pages, or they are who we get for the season? I think Kike is who we have for the season. I think Muncy is going to get a pretty long leash. We'll see how long that leash is. Pages, I think there's a chance he goes back down and potentially gets traded, just because they may not be able to count on him daily with this team right now. They may move him. Think about it. If there was no place for a guy like Michael Bush to play, now he doesn't play center field, but Pages shouldn't be playing center field either. So if Pages isn't a center fielder, they got two corner outfielders. It comes down to a point where it's like, where do you put Pages? It's kind of where we're at. Roy, what's going on, Roy? We will be okay. Just need to replace Muncy and Pages, make trades to shore up the defense and extend our lineup. Our bullpen is showing somewhere. Exactly. What's going on, Kane? Jeff, I remember Charles Barkley saying back in the day in Philly, a lot of radio guys would say things they don't believe for clout. Is that true in all sports media? Oh, yeah, for sure. Especially on YouTube, man. But in sports media, for sure, man. For sure. Spring weather over summer weather, especially in Cali last summer. It was so hot. I sweated standing outside for 2 seconds in June. It was cold today. Which is why that baseball was dying. If it was a warm night, the show he has 3 home runs tonight. But yeah, it was cool out in LA today. Our tickets to the Dodger games cheaper in the summer than fall. I remember watching an A's game in the summer. Dudes would fall asleep during the game. It depends. The matchups. It depends how. It all depends. Was there a giveaway? It depends. I'm debating on going to the game tomorrow night. So Jackie Robinson, Brooklyn Dodger jersey giveaway. I want to go to that and watch them as well. Roy says, concerned with Knack pitching tomorrow. Don't like Miller on Wednesday. We can't lose these games. Can't fall behind early. Yeah. The Dodgers still believe in Landon Knack. Now, they believe in his ability to eat innings. Now, let's see if he can, and it is against the Rockies. So hopefully he can go out there, get a win, get it done, and not fall apart against this team that, like I said, the lowest scoring team in baseball while giving up the most runs in baseball. If there was ever a team you're going to throw these guys out against, it's going to be them. Save your other guys some innings. But I get the strategy, but the fact that they lost 2 to the Nationals and 2 to Philly, you can't. I understand some of those might have been punt games, but you can't keep punting games for sure. Let's see. What are the fields in baseball that you feel have the crypto Madison Square type of feel? You like the history, bring the lights of champagne and winning the moment you step in. Well, Yankee Stadium, Fenway Park, Wrigley Field. Those are the special vibes if you're talking about like the Mecca ones. There's a lot of ballparks I like. Like Petco is a dope park to go to, man. The San Francisco Park is because it's right there on the water at Oracle. There's a lot of good ballparks. That new one in Pittsburgh is the skyline in that stadium is just ridiculous. There's a lot of dope ones. Baseball is just a different thing in general. It's a different vibe. You really can't compare the experience of going to a baseball game like going to an NBA game. It's just totally, totally different. Let's see. Jeff, you ever been to Boston, Sony Boston Sports? How the environment? Yes, I've been to Boston numerous times. It's cool. Like it's a sports city. It's a drinking town. You'll have fun. You can talk trash. They'll talk trash. You just got to be careful. Mind your business, man. Arenado from Muncie straight up. A lot of people didn't want to do that. Talked about that all offseason. The Dodgers can have Arenado right now if they wanted him. He's a card they have in their pocket. They haven't played it yet. I don't know if they will, but that's someone that's been linked to them forever. He wants to come here badly. And that's a guy whose approach, man, you get him into this lineup, you get him into this team, and you get him around this winning situation. Get him out of St. Louis, and he could come alive again. Now, he'll never be Arenado that he was in Colorado, but he doesn't necessarily have to be the guy he was the last 2 years in St. Louis either. I think he would be better than that. But I don't think they move Muncy for him. Maybe Taylor and something else, but we'll have to wait and see. That wasn't an earthquake earlier today. That was my wife. What? What are you talking about? I didn't even feel the earthquake earlier, man. I've seen some games where they play till 1, 2 in the morning. Do they go that far in baseball with the times? They used to go a lot further, but now they got the ghost runner, right? Who gets on so if you go to extra innings, you get a guy on second base to start an inning. And that makes it a lot easier for extra inning games to end quicker. So that has expedited that, but they don't do that in the playoffs. They just do that in the regular season. So that does get games to end a lot sooner. Back in the day, they used to last forever, man. They used to last forever. There'd be like some 18, 19 inning games, 16, 17 inning, 14, 15. Like you'd have a lot of long games. Now with the pitchers, teams would just run out of pitchers. So they can't do that. So now they limit it. Or if it's a blowout, you'll see them put in a position player to throw pitches to save their guys from throwing out there, because that's what happens with Miggy Rowe the other night, right? You got to save some of your guys out there, because if not, you have guys out there eating innings in a blowout for no particular reason. Just doesn't make sense to do so. So it is a definitely can't have a game where games are going 17, 18, 19 innings in today's game, because with all the injuries and all those extra innings, that would lead to a whole bunch of trouble. Has anyone seen, did Hogg really retire? Like, is he really not doing shows even while the Padres are front running right now? Like, is this legit? He's not doing shows? That's crazy. That's crazy. Let's see. Said, Jeff, did you have the Sandlot childhood where the stories like the 90s baseball summers? Yeah, I told that on a previous show. Told a pretty long story about it, but long story short, when I moved into my neighborhood, there was a church at the end of the block, and on that church, it had this huge grass field that we turned into our baseball field, and we would play every day all summer. So definitely had a lot of baseball, like Sandlot stories. Some of my best friends in life came from that field. Still talk to them today. And yeah, absolutely have those stories. Baseball was my life, my complete life. And basketball, I love basketball. It was a major part of my life as well. But baseball was such a big part of my life. I was obsessed with baseball, and still am. But that was just a whole different world. Back then, baseball was my absolute life. I loved playing it. I loved watching it. I love watching it now. I don't ever get to play it anymore. And I wouldn't be very good if I did. It's been so long since I played, and it's a timing sport. But watching baseball is something I really still enjoy listening to baseball on the radio. That's why sometimes in the beginning of a game, like the first inning or two, I'll be outside walking lucky listening to the game, because I like hearing it on the radio, even though it's on my phone. It gives me the radio vibe, like when I used to listen with my grandpa. So to me, I still enjoy listening. Back in the day, I would listen on the radio and watch on TV. I would kind of switch up wherever Vin went. So when they would do the simulcast, and it would be Vin Scully would do part of the game on TV, and he would do part of the game on the radio. And what I would do was I'd go wherever Vin went. I would go wherever Vin went. And I still kind of carry that tradition on today. And Joe Davis doesn't do that. But they do sometimes switch it around with Nelson and the other guy on the radio. But I'll still kind of do that. Maybe I'll catch the early parts of the games on radio and then watch from like the second, third inning on TV. It's kind of always been my rotation. It's kind of always how I, observed baseball, and especially obviously from on the freeway, it's going to be the radio. So I like listening to baseball on the radio. It's just the old school baseball fan in me, but watching baseball is absolutely incredible too on the TV. But part of me just kind of reaches out for that old school style of listening to baseball, because that's how it would be with my grandpa. So it's kind of my way of kind of getting back in touch with that. So it's just kind of cool. But it is Sandlot stories. They got a lot of those. I got a lot of those. But the Dodgers, man, let's get back to what they got to work on here. And the defense, the bullpen, starting pitching, like the timely hitting, the runners left on base, all these things are fundamental baseball, right? The runners left on base. If you're not, if you're going to get guys on, and if Shohei's not getting these RBIs because guys in the bottom of the lineup just aren't getting on, having Tommy Edman at the bottom of the lineup was that cheat code in the playoffs. When they had him batting ninth, you had an MVP of a series batting ninth. That just gave Ohtani and these other guys at the plate just someone on there. They call them the rabbits, right? Get them on there, get them causing hell on the base paths. Get some guys out there. You maybe have to put someone at the bottom of the lineup that's hitting the baseball, right? Move Will Smith down a little bit. I know he's off to a great start of the year, but Will, he's been incredible. Maybe you move him down a spot or two, move someone up. Now, when you get Teo in there and you got Shohei, Mookie, Teo, Freddie, Will, Edman, right? And you got Muncy Pages, and whether it's Kike or Rojas, someone's got to be inserted in that back end there. Someone's got to be inserted almost like your secondary leadoff guy. And if you don't have a guy out there, and you got a guy like Ohtani at the plate, coming up time and time again with no one on base in front of him, that really does make it problematic for Shohei, because, like I said, he had a home run tonight. He should have had 2 more. And when he's coming up, there's just like no one on base. They're just not. Yeah, Tatis was nuts today. 2 more home runs tonight for Fernando, test positive. 2 bombs. Man, he is he's coming out hot to start this season. That's part of the reason why the Padres are coming out hot to start the season. So, very curious to see how this team goes. Very curious to see what happens with their free agent situation with the Rise and Cease. Do those guys stay here? Does any of them get moved? What does this Padre team look like? Because AJ Preller is going to be aggressive. While he has to get rid of guys, he will probably look to add guys too. And we'll see how that balances out. But Dylan Cease got touched up again. I don't think them losing Dylan Cease is a big deal if they trade him. I don't think it's a big deal. He's going to get paid a lot of money. And he hasn't been that great. Like, I know he had a no-hitter last year, but come playoff time, I mean, the Dodgers light him up. So the Padres moving Dylan Cease, I don't think hurts them too much, right? Them losing Michael King could be huge. If they don't feel that they can sign him, they may have to move him. So we'll have to wait and see on that. Definitely have to wait and see on that. Jeff, true, Ohtani can't get RBIs. He can't, because only RBIs he gets when he drives it himself, like the way it's going. Lakers, Dodgers for life. What's going on, man? What up, Jeff? Missed today's game. How did May look? How many innings did he pitch? 6 innings, dominated, 3 hits, 1 earned run. He was fantastic tonight. That sweeper was working. He was making people look foolish. He's looked great. He's been great. And the bullpen, mucked it up a little bit. Banda gave up a home run. Kirby Yates got in a little trouble. Tanner Scott got in a little trouble, but they got out of it. Mookie had another 2-run home run. Will Smith drove in a run. Kike drove in a run. Wasn't a bad baseball game, but the fact that, the Rockies got outscored and shut out, 3 straight games in San Diego, and then came into LA and was able to score 3 runs on us. They've got to start pulverizing teams. You can't give these teams confidence that they belong in the same league as you when you have this roster. You got to get out there and kill these guys. Now, baseball is baseball, and this will happen. And the Dodgers will go on a stretch where they are just embarrassing people. I promise you this. Hasn't happened yet. What's going on, Rika? You wonder why the Dodgers love to hoard their prospects. If they are in win mode, why not trade some of these prospects? I don't want another Cartaya who they just wasted and never traded. They're going to trade some, Rika. They're going to trade some. There are some deals on the table right now. They're going to get a center fielder, perhaps may get a third baseman. Hassan Kim is ripping up the minor leagues, man. He may come up a little bit, and maybe you can add him into the bottom of that lineup to add a little life. See what he can do out there for a little bit. Just a little change of scenery, change of pace, change a guy in that lineup. I would expect that maybe he might get a call up soon. So there's some things in the pipeline that can happen, and I don't think the Dodgers are really going to hoard those prospects. I think they just don't make moves until it's their guy. When that guy becomes available, they'll make the moves. Like I said, look what they did last year. Like, they were waiting on Edmund for forever. That's the guy they wanted. That's the type of guy they're going to go after. Kane says, man, I envy those 90s, 2000s, hanging with the homies every day in the summer, playing ball all day, making adult jokes, talking ish, stress-free. Felt those vibes bumping. Worse come to worse. Worse come to worse. My peoples come first. Yeah, great time, man. I think anytime anyone's young, man. And you're young, when you're a kid, teenager, and you don't got any of those responsibilities, depending on where you grew up, you probably still had some stresses in life, even as a young age. I know what that's like. But still, it's still your time where your friends mean everything, at that point, right? You're out there hanging with your friends, hanging with your peoples. When you get older and you got responsibilities and things happen and you've got families and all this stuff, that's the stuff that goes to the side of the road, and you just miss it, right? You just miss it. And you don't realize how precious it is while you have it. You don't realize what you got till it's gone. And that's kind of what that's like. And I definitely miss those times. Definitely miss it. But I'm blessed enough to still be in contact with a lot of people I came up with. We still got a good relationship. We still try to get together when we can. We still, keep up with each other, check on each other. My circle was pretty solid. Like, we were a tight group. So, we do a good job of staying on top of that. But there's also a lot of people that I haven't talked to in a while. And a lot of it's, I got to reach out, and check on them, right? But those times, you just had so much time on your hands. Now we don't, and it just makes it difficult to do that. Will Smith plays baseball. Damn, man, he's been killing it, man. May was great. He was absolutely great. Yates was a little wild today, for sure. Why didn't they re-sign the hometown kid Jack Flaherty? They weren't going to pay him, and he really wasn't. He was really hard to count on, right? He had some really bad outings. He had some real great outings that we don't make the playoffs, but we did. We don't win a World Series without him. But he was just always going to be a rental. They basically chose Blake Snell, Sasaki, and Dustin May over Buehler and Flaherty. And, I think that was probably going to be the right choice. Buehler has not been great. Flaherty is a solid player. He may get traded again, and Buehler may get traded. You know what I mean? So it's not like they just let guys walk that they had long-term plans for. I would love Alcantara and Luis Roberts maybe. Luis Roberts is possible. Alcantara, look, the Marlins will move him in a second if they get a deal they like. I heard the Cubs may be looking at him. A couple of teams may be looking at him. The Yankees may be looking at him. Mets may be looking at him. So I think he definitely for surely gets moved. May did play great. Oh yeah, he did. He was fantastic. I miss Jack and Buehler sometimes. They won the chip with us, so they're part of they're part of Dodger Nation for life. Muncy considered retiring. Do you think that he has anything to do with his play? It's early, but he just doesn't look right. He doesn't look right. He doesn't look right at all. I'm kind of patient when it comes to Muncy because, like I said, he's just such a part of our core. He's such a part of the fabric of this team. He's a leader. just Austin Barnes is a real big part of this team for our pitchers. It's tough to see him go through it. The Dodgers, I know, are going to give him all the time he needs to try to get it right. But if he doesn't, they got to do their job, right? So it's not going to come now, and we'll see when. But it's just real brutal for him right now. What would you say a selfish player is like in baseball? Maybe like a Juan Soto, kind of just all for himself. Which again, biggest contract in the sport. Putting you and yourself and your family first, I guess. I don't. It's hard to call selfish, I guess. But from a teammate perspective, like to leave someone like the Yankees or leave a team with something you're building with just because you specifically want to have the highest number, that's kind of selfish. I've always backed him up from kind of saying never heard any problems with him off the field or in a clubhouse, but it seems like a lot of stuff came out during his free agency and a lot of stuff kind of coming out about his time in San Diego that I didn't know was a problem. I guess him and Manny had issues, and I guess he thought he was going to come in there and be the leader, and Manny wasn't having it. So I don't really know, but someone like Soto is someone that will probably fall into that category, man. Rika says, please give a legit reason why the Dodgers keep holding on to Rojas, Barnes, Taylor, or even Muncy. I'm almost rooting for them to keep failing so the Dodgers can finally get rid of them. Well, I explained the Barnes and Muncy thing. Rojas had a really good year last year. Really good year last year. He's a solid defender. Even this year, he's made good contact. He just isn't hitting. Barnes is going to be here. Taylor might not make it. Like I said, we just touched on Muncy. So there's the thing is the Dodgers are very look what happened with Walker Buehler last year, right? Everyone was like, get rid of him, cut him, let him go. And I didn't even know if he was going to make it to the playoff roster, right? And if we don't have Walker Buehler last year, we don't win the World Series. And so the Dodgers, while it drives fans a little nuts and they get a little impatient, their patience with a lot of these players typically pans out for them. Now, I'm not saying it's going to happen with all of these guys, but the Dodgers don't just throw away players in the trash. They never have. That's not how they do things. It's just not going to happen. So that it's just how they are with their core. In your eyes, do some teams completely lose it after winning a ring as far as hunger and camaraderie? Sometimes you just lose a lot of players. You lose, what is going on my screen? People leaving free agency, or people have a down year, or things just happen. It's hard to keep winning baseball teams together because people get paid. You lose coaches, you lose players, and it just happens. So it's hard. If you got guys locked up long term and you can continue to pay guys, and you can hopefully stay healthy and get a chance to get out there again. Pages needs to be sent down. Maybe give Outman a try. He can't be worse than Pages, can he? My thing is this: if you're not getting the bat, and I've talked about this before, if you're not getting the bat out of Pages, then you might as well get Outman's glove, right? If you're not going to get the bat out of Pages, because at least with Outman, you at least have the defense. With Pages, you don't have the defense or the bat, even though we did rob a guy of a grand slam recently. Like, I really wish that Eddie Rosales was a center fielder, man, because he is killing it in AAA, killing it. He's got a hit in every game. He's batting above 340. He's been great, but he's not a center fielder. They don't got nowhere to put him. So he's a guy that killed us in 2021 and was thinking maybe he'd have a spot on this team, but they just really don't have a place to put him right now. Is Juan Soto baseball's Bradley Beal? He's better at baseball than Bradley Beal is at basketball. So no, I wouldn't go there. Don't forget we have Gosselin. Gosselin is going to shove. Yes, keep an eye. We need position players, not pitchers and trade talks. This is true. Absolutely true. Roy says, yes, Outman is worse than Outman. Don't need Outman. We have too many swing and miss guys in the lineup. Yeah. No, my thing is, you mean Outman worse than Pages is what you meant, Roy? I agree with you, but what I'm saying is if Pages isn't hitting, and you're looking for a glove, then you do have one in Outman. He could be like a Kiermaier type, right? Let's see, me mind my business. Yeah, I know what you meant. Roy. You think the Lakers can make to the conference finals, Rika? You know what? I like their matchup against Minnesota. And then depending on the matchup they get after that, yeah, I think they have a chance. I think the Lakers have as good a chance as anyone in the conference to get to the conference finals. I'm not scared of anyone in the West. I don't look at a matchup that I fear or think that, oh man, we got to avoid. I don't see it this year. So with that said, as long as Luka is Luka and LeBron looks healthy-ish, Austin steps up, and their defense can play, then yeah, I think this team can get there for sure. I do think. Lakers Dodgers for Life said, what do you think of the Vlad Jr. contract extension? Ohtani's getting all these players paid. He set the market. You know what? It was looking like it wasn't going to get done. And then it got done, man. I know the Mets are pissed about it. The Mets thought they had the inside track at him. The Yankees were going to put up a fight, but if the Mets really wanted him, they probably were going to lose out on him. You know, he had said that he wasn't going to do an extension in the season. But then, you know what? He's looking at it like, I'm not risking injury. I'm not going down that path. I want this guaranteed money. He probably backed off a little bit of his asking price. The Toronto Blue Jays probably went a little north and more than they wanted to. And they met in the middle, maybe somewhere, and got a deal done. So good for him. He gets to remain a Blue Jay for life, more than likely. And the Blue Jays get to keep a player that's a really good baseball player. And we'll see, you know, what they can build around him and what it turns into. How about give Muncy a week off, bring someone out to replace him? And that's something they might do. They may put him on a little phantom DH spell to get his head right. Make something happen because he's probably just way into his own head right now. Like I said, they love Muncy. His teammates love Muncy. There's still a lot of fans that love Muncy. Like I've been to the games when he comes up, they're still cheering for him, you know, loudly. I think a lot of people, a lot of like diehard Dodger fans still value what he's brought to this team, and they want to see him get through it. Kane says, I will say this, it's cool when big market teams win a ring, but there's something about having national media in small markets that just have sports. For example, Miami teams suck, but it's still Miami. That's true. What's going on, the bandwagon? What's going on, man? As a bandwagon Dodger fan, Jeff losing streaks happen. I think stay black with that Nipsey Crip blue. Jeff is like Omar from The Wire. Oh, you know what's funny? Yo, you know what's funny you say that. First, why do you say Omar from The Wire? Why do you say that? Because he don't wear blue. I need a definition as to why you said it. And it's funny as hell that you said that. Oh, my God. Cuba, get out of my head. It's so funny because I had like oh, man, I can't even say it now. But just remember you said that. Yo, I'm tripping out right now. This is such a crazy coincidence that you said that. Just stay tuned. Stay tuned. I'm working on something kind of in line with that. But oh my God, that is funny as hell that you just said that. But I'm curious that you say why I'm like Omar from The Wire. Why do you say that? Because Omar don't rock the blue. Everyone was on me for that video I did yesterday about the blue because the sky was blue. I was in blue. Like I'm in a blue room again right now, but I was in a red room last night. When I was on Joe's show last night, the lights were all red. I was in a red hoodie, red hat. Like I switched it up. I told him I switched neighborhoods when I got home, so I had to get back into a red situation. I was just joking around, but no, but it's funny you said that because I actually was working on something. Kind of came up with something. I'm plugging into something, and like the fact that you said that is comedy. But I'm curious specifically as to why you said that I'm like Omar from The Wire. Like, that's my favorite show of all time. And that's my favorite character in The Wire is Omar. So it's funny you said that. What's going on, Aaron? Appreciate you, brother. Hope you're doing well. Thank you for tuning in. Oh, my God, that is funny as hell. Muncy Drew walks tonight, though. Yeah, he did. And when he can do that, he definitely helps his team. Who would the Dodgers bring up if they put Muncy on the shelf rushing? Maybe rushing. Again, maybe even Rosario. Like I said, like, I don't know exactly. They got some guys down there they can bring up and give a look to. Dan Inspiration says Garcia and Robleski can't pitch. Can the Dodgers replace them with someone in the minors? They could, but they're going to continue to give those guys chances. Bro, I remember the first time I heard Jeff, I thought it was Dylan Brooks for some reason. No, bro, was from T-Dot for some reason. You thought I was Toronto? You thought it was from the dot? From the 6? Come on, man. Come on. You usually predict some gem on some Dodgers moves in the past. You think they're going to make some significant changes in the lineup, like trades or bringing up guys like Cam, Freeland, or rushing? Appreciate that. You know what? I think Hassan Kim has a chance to come up soon. He's playing well in the minors. He helps on the defensive side. He brings some speed. If he gets on the base pads ahead of Ohtani, and you got Ohtani's power and those guys behind him with the ability to steal bases, along with the guy that they just got from the A's who led the American League in stolen bases, I think the Dodgers are working towards something here. As far as my prediction, the Dodgers, I predict, will be making a move for a center fielder. I think they've realized it has to be done. They don't want Edman to be their full-time center fielder, even though he can play center. They don't want Kike to be a full-time center fielder, although he can play center. And they don't want Pages being an everyday center fielder, even though they can play him there sometimes. Having said all of that equals to the Dodgers going after a center fielder. But I will tell you this. I've heard that the Dodgers have 3 deals that they can make right now for a center fielder, 3 of them. All right. Now, the only one I can talk about, because it's out there, is Luis Robert Jr. The other 2 names were not mentioned, so it's not my news to break. It's not my story to tell, so I'm not going to put it out there. I also have been told that the Dodgers have a deal for a 2 third basemen, if they want to do a deal, and that's just a card they have in their pocket. And that's what I've heard. I've heard that for a while now. Luis Roberts is definitely one of the names. The Dodgers could have him today if they wanted him. They could have him today. The Dodgers have a kind of a standing agreement with the Chicago White Sox, right? They do great business with them. They work very well together. They were given the last call on Kopech. They were given the last call on Crochet. They turned it down, and they have the last call on Luis Robert Jr. So if there's an offer for Luis Robert Jr., the White Sox will call the Dodgers to see if they can match, or if they're not interested, the Dodgers will get the call. Okay. Outside of that, there are other guys in play. A lot of people no one's really brought up. No one said. It's just a matter of, one of them is how much are the Dodgers willing to go. 2, I can't say the second one because it might make it too obvious. But the Dodgers, there are three that they could go after right now. Luis Roberts is one of them. He's not the only one. And I'll just say this. The Dodgers had their eye on Tommy Edman for years. They tried to get him for years. They waited it out, and they finally got their guy. One of these guys, of these 3, is someone that the Dodgers will wait years for if they have to, but they would love to get him this year. So they're waiting that out, and they're trying to see if they can make that happen. And if not, then maybe they do pivot to a Luis Robert Jr. But outside of that, those are the moves. I wouldn't look at any pitching moves other than the guys they got coming back. I wouldn't really look at anything at third base right now. But center field, I think, is something that will be coming shortly. That's just what I believe. Lakers beat Minnesota, Clippers, OKC, Boston. Let's hope. That'd be crazy. Dodger red on Joe's show only. Yeah, because he had a red background. There was red in the Dodgers uniform, man. They are red, white, and blue, man. So I was rocking red on Joe's show. Shout out to Joe, the Joe Sora Experience. Experiment. Sorry, I keep Joe and whatever. He just sounds too much like a Joe Rogan show. I keep telling him that. Like, when you named it, you just made yourself Joe Rogan, like, to be roped into that. But anyways, the Joe Soro Experiment. God, Joe. When I was on the show last night, his colors and his themes are red. So that's what I was rocking. The red lights with the red hat and a red hoodie. That's what I was rocking yesterday. Lakers Dodgers for life said, "Hey Jeff, you excited for these Western Conference games tomorrow?" Yeah, I'm excited to watch. I'll probably be watching from work though, and then when I get home from there. And then I've been invited on another show on Wednesday night. I haven't taken. I'm just gonna sound weird because it makes it sound like it's not. How it sound is not going to be how I intended it. But I've been turning down a lot of shows just because I haven't had the time. And it's not like I'm some like big time person that people are beat down my door to get me on shows. I'm just saying that even when those have reached out to me, I have not been able to because of my schedule. But I had some reach out to me. They've always been very supportive of me. I've been on their show before. They reached out again. So I'm going to try to get that done on Wednesday. And once I know that's official, I'll let you guys know so you guys can pull up over to it. So I'm hoping I can do that, hoping my schedule permits. So I'll be kind of leaving the nest, going outside of my show or the Lakers Fast Break or the Joe Soro Rogan experience. No, I can't get that out of my head. I haven't really done any other shows in a while. Haven't really done a lot of shows in a while. So this is going to be my first kind of getting back on tour again, back out there on other shows. People are asking. And haven't had the time, but I'm going to do my best to make time for this next one. So Wednesday. So be on the lookout for that. I'll let you guys know once I have that confirmed. Where am I at? Oh, there we go. Kane says, then when I saw Jeff on live, I thought bro was from the Bronx. BX Boricua, brother. Yeah. I told you my dialect is really screwed up. It's got the East Coast, the Midwest, LA hip hop flair, like my whole like upbringing in my dialect, living in Spanish neighborhoods too. So I can, my R's, right? So it's like there's a lot of culture in my dialect, a lot of it. And depending on what mood I'm in, depending where I'm at, who I'm around, when I'm around other New Yorkers, my New York comes out more. I just said New York in two different ways. So you see what I'm saying? Like my dialect is weird. So when I'm like, if I'm like, hydrated, if I got a little, alcohol in me, the New York usually comes out more. If I'm excited, it comes out more. If I'm angry, it comes out more. But when I'm chilling, it don't really come out. But like I said, my dialect, it's very mixed. A lot of people, so like, it's funny, like in business, man, when I talk to someone on the phone and then we meet in person, like, bro, like your voice, I had no idea. Like, I thought you were like that happened all the time. Like my voice doesn't match what I look like. Right. To a lot of people. And then when they see me, then it's like, okay, they can kind of put it together from there. But usually initially it kind of throws people off. But it's because my dialect is just so weird. Rika says, I love Brian Reynolds from the Pirates. Is he one of the three? Spill it out. I cannot put out there what's not mine. That's the thing. I've never done that. I never put out other people's intel that is not my own. That's how I keep those contacts. That's how I keep the trust. Is because I don't do it for clout. I don't do it for clicks. I'm not chasing, right? I value the relationship more than I do of saying, their information. So I will say that one of them is someone that would be completely unexpected, and the Dodgers would have to pay up. They would have to pay up both financially and prospect wise, and they might. But like I said, there are deals they can do right now, and if they decide to wait for one of their guys, that could happen, and we'll just go from there. You guys know I don't just be saying this to say it. You guys know my track record. You guys know I've done this in the past. You guys know I don't just talk about it to talk about it. The Dodgers are linked to some guys, and if any hint of it comes out, then I'll jump on it, right? Because I haven't seen it anywhere. I'll jump on it. I'll get permission. I'll be like, look, it's kind of out there already. Can I talk about it? They'll give me permission. We'll go from there. But as of right now, I've only heard this from a very small circle. So I can't do it because one, it would be too obvious that it came from there, right? And two, I don't do that. Like I just don't do that. I respect the relationship too much. Jeff, what would you say is the biggest difference from North Cal to SoCal? I swear they got to split this to two states because everyone up north comes down south. Dakotas and Carolinas got their space. Cali got to split. Yeah, you know what? It's fun. Well, it's funny because you got the funny thing about it is you got Northern Cal and you got Southern Cal, but then you got Central Cal. It's weird. Central Cal because half of them are diehard LA team and half of them are diehard Northern team. So you've got this weird little middle section in Central Valley, Central California. over there. When you get into like, you know, like the Fresnos, the Clovises, all these towns like up over there that are not the Bay, they are not LA, but people think they're the Bay or LA, depending on which team they choose, right? Which is fine. It's fine. But what I'm saying, it's a whole different area, right? It's a whole different area. I got a lot of family out there, you know, and majority of them are all Lakers and Dodger fans and Raider fans. And then you got a lot of them that are like a lot of people out there that are 49er and Dodger fans or 49er and Laker fans. Like they're Bay Area for football, but they're Southern California for every other sport. And I know that type of fan gets clowned on for being a 49er fan and a Dodger fan and a Laker fan. And when they're 49er fans, they chant beat LA. Like I can't wrap my mind around it. But there are a lot of the Central Valley is a weird area in California when it comes to sports because it splits, right? We have Northern California, you have Southern California, and you got Central Valley is kind of like the stepchild in there. And then you have like San Diego, which is kind of like the other one that kind of gets left out, which is probably the most beautiful city of them all. But from a sports, I'm purely talking sports fans perspective, is you have a lot of those differences there, right? But Northern California, Southern California typically don't like each other. People from both sides, typically, there's a whole different lingo. It's a whole different style. It's a whole different slang. It's a whole different culture. You know, I've got business in Northern California, so I'm in the Bay Area a lot. It's just a whole different world, even though it's the same state, right? But I'm sure, like, you know, Texas has got some different patches, the biggest state in the country, right? And you got parts of Texas that are like one way and parts of Texas that are like another. So, yeah, California is weird that way, but Northern and Southern typically don't like each other. I get along with both. But it is different. I don't think it'll ever split because California by itself is just too big of an economy, and it probably will never split up from that standpoint. Let's see. The CWS share Camelback ranch with the Dodgers. Yeah, the White Sox. Yeah, and they've got a great relationship. They got a great relationship. And so they just they work well together, and they do business together well. I will love Devers and Dodger Blue. I mean, Devers got to start hitting again, man. Joe's here. Joe said, seriously, Joe Rogan. Yeah, bro. When you have Joe Rogan and Joe Soro, and then you got the Joe Rogan experience, and you're the Joe Soro experiment, bro. You asked for it. You asked for it. You asked for it, Joe. You asked for it. Oh my God. Joe about to get me on the hot mustard. Hot mustard's fire, bro. For those that don't know, you know that line, what is it? Guns N' Roses, not the band, but the Jay-Z song, a Hova song, Guns N' Roses. Who knew that YouTube will love apple pie from McDonald's? You know that line? That was me last night. I was like, who knew YouTube would like hot mustard from McDonald's? That's my favorite fast food sauce. So it's crazy that that Joe said that last night. I told my mom that story today because my mom put me on that, right? So I told my mom and she just started laughing. And my mom knows who Joe is because she, they watch my show. So it was just kind of funny. But that hot mustard is legendary. I couldn't believe the Rockies are that bad record-wise. Oh, they are terrible, bro. Terrible. I told you, they're 10 games out already. The season just started. Yeah, make sure to check out the Code118 Wallets. Make sure to use my link to get special discounts. Phenomenal wallet, which I do not have on me again. Very minimalistic wallet. Holds a bunch of cards. Got expansion packs, including GPS trackers, so you know where your wallet is. Make sure to check that out, man. Appreciate you, Search. Jeff is black man in a white body. This is crazy. That Omar line had me dead, Q, but there's a reason for that. Oh, my God. EmpireJeffTV got all the info. Hey, appreciate it. Chris knows what's up, man. Chris knows what's up. Yeah, there's dudes who be telling, it's funny because I'll be hearing stuff behind the scenes when I hear what some other people say sometimes about it, I'm like, I don't say nothing though. I don't say nothing though. I mind my business though. No, I mind my business, man. I'm gonna be frank. Jeff, the only place in the Bay worth going is San Francisco, maybe Oakland. Outside, that's pretty bland unless you a big tech junkie. SoCal, way more lit. I wouldn't even recommend going to Oakland right now, bro. Like Oakland is crazy. I fly into that airport a lot, man. And look, they lost a Starbucks and an In-N-Out right by each other, right there by the airport. How do you lose Starbucks and In-N-Out? Because the violence is so bad. It's crazy, bro. I saw someone. I had rented a car And it's fun. In my mind, I'm like, no, I was going back to the airport, but no, I was leaving the airport. But I'm like, why am I stopping at a gas station? But I had to get something from the store. So I stopped at the gas station, and I literally saw someone get carjacked. Like, this is like 30 minutes after I got to town, and I like broad daylight, like nothing, just carjacked, and it was at the Starbucks. And I was like, bro, who gets jacked at Starbucks? And I was like, man, so the Starbucks gone, In-N-Out gone. Now, like a couple of times I had incidences. When I rented a car and was driving from the airport to Oakland to get where I was going, I'm like, man, I just Uber now. I don't even like, it's crazy over there, man. And it sucks. It sucks what's happening in that city. It is crazy. Cuba says, I said Omar because ain't nobody effing with you on the streets. You walk in and everybody gets out of the way. It nothing to do with blue. Yeah, man, I'm telling you, look, you know, when you stand on yours, right, and you got good people around you, and people know how you move, and you know, there's certain dudes that I would never mess with because I've seen the work they put in. Like I'm talking about, like outside, and you just realize, hey, you right, dog. You right. But it's like, you know, you got to carry yourself in a way. Like, there's one thing if you're a dude that's always telling someone you're gonna put hands on them, or if you're trying to be a tough guy. I'm not a tough guy, man. I'm not a tough guy. I don't do that. I don't talk that talk. Told you guys this. It's like 50 Cent line, right? I don't want no problems. But if you got a problem, I say no problem. Right? That's how I am. I don't go looking for problems. I don't want no problems. I'm old, bro. I don't want no problems. I don't want no problems. I want to come home and play with my dog. You know what I mean? I don't want no problems. But at the same time, you know, sometimes you got to remind people that they shouldn't look for problems, right? So for me, it's pretty simple. But you know what it is too? Especially like on the internet, when you talk a lot of trash, it's always the ones that got the burner accounts or the no profile pics or the 4 followers or whatever it is. They get real spicy. They come out the woodwork. But it's someone who really knows, like that's known, or it's someone that's really like got a lot of followers or something to lose. A lot of those guys will get out the way. A lot of those will get out the way when from a natural born trash talker, right? From a natural like debater, for a guy who can really air you out, right? So that's always fun when those dudes like run. You know what I mean? But it's funny. People's perception on people is real funny. I could tell sometimes. I could tell someone like someone is like going at someone, and they think because that person is kind, and I'm like, oh man, they have no idea who they're messing with over there. Like I've seen the side of this dude. Like they're messing with the wrong one. They just don't know it yet, right? And I think that's where a lot of people get caught up. It's thinking they know who they're messing with when they don't. Rand says, trade for Mike Trout and put him in center field. He said, trade for Mike Trout, huh? Chris, the art director, he said, Jeff knows. Jeff knows. I mean, I know something. It doesn't mean it's going to happen. What's going on, AJ? Are you in favor of these two guys, Jeff? What two guys? What two guys? I know what you're talking about, AJ. Enlighten me. I know what you're saying. Let's see. IE are mostly Lakers and Dodgers. It is. Let's see. What's going on, Star? I know a lot of 49er Laker fans here in Central California. Yeah, Central California is like a weird sports place, right? It's dope. You know, Central California is cool too because it's like a real like car area, right? My whole family up there is in like the auto business one way or another, right? And so when you're out there and you're out there, you could be talking like 49er, Raider fans, Dodger fans, Giants fans, Lakers fans, Warriors fans. Like it's a weird area. Sports fan wise, cool spot. Like I have fun every time I'm out there, but it's just a very weird sports area. Joe Soro looks like Brad Garrett from Everybody Loves Raymond. Oh man, oh I can't, bro. I can't. He has that voice. What are you talking? Like, no, man, Joe's. You know, I love. And you know, the funny thing is, Joe is so much funnier than people think, but because he's so serious, like Joe, the serious Sorrow, right? He's so serious. He's so much funnier than people think. You guys have seen it enough on his show, right? But like, he's so much funnier than people think. But it's so funny, that comparison. Oh my god. Oh man. He's so much funnier than people think. But he's just so like serious a lot that it kind of can sneak up on people or they don't catch it. Oh, but that's hilarious, man. That is hilarious. Oh man, that's hilarious. I hope he's still in there, and I hope he saw that. Oh man, I had a teacher in the high school who was a Dodger and Angels fan. Yeah, that's just weird. That's weird. What's funny is with the Clipper fans is you could all tell how they look like. They all come off super hyper, trying hard to be different, or they Kawhi Harden fans. They're just anti-Laker or anti-LeBron people, mostly. It's a different beef now with Bron Steph rivalry. Yeah, it is. But like the fact that Bron and Steph get along so well now just makes it like weird now. Like they love each other now with the California beef. It's a beef with the Bron and Steph rivalry. LA folk life. Facts, Chris. Facts. Joe, get your Oh man, this is comedy, man. Keep an eye on Red Sox Dodger trade. Red Sox and Dodgers always. Good eye, Roy. Good eye, Roy. I know a good eye when I see one because I only have one. So good eye, Roy. Good eye, Roy. Let's see. Devers, no thanks. Keep his errors in Boston. Let's see. Brad Gary. I can't unsee it now. It's a FedEx arrow. I can't unsee it now. Oh, Joe, the serious sorrow. Oh my God, that did it right there. That did it. I'll be honest. Once Bron and my agenda I grew up retires, I'm kind of excited to be a non-biased NBA fan. I feel it's more fun, to be honest, as far as not dealing with emotions when you're not linked to any team. Yeah, it's cool. It's just a different way of fanning. You know what I mean? Oh God, that killed me. That killed me, bro. I always got my ish together. Joe Sergeant Slaughter Sorrow. The best thing coming out of Oakland is the Alameda 2. That's wild. Yo, that place is crazy, man. Joe Rogan, the Joe Sorrow experience. Oh my God. I gotta buy the EmpireJeffTV Tumblr. I gotta find my Tumblr. I had it the other day, and then Lucky got the lid. It was like, come get it. I'm like, you little mother, like you better. And he was just like teasing me with the lid, and like the little part on the lid, I don't know where it went. So fucking Lucky, man. I think Lucky, man. I got to edit that out now. Let's see. Some people from NoCal feel SoCal folks are too condescending and prideful about being from LA and are shallow about its reputation and kids. Oh, you damn right. We damn right. F them. F them all. Coming into the season, I was worried about the Dodgers lineup, and now it's coming to fruition. I'm really hoping they get one more solid hitter, and I'll be happy. There's a lot of good teams in the NL. They'll be fine, and they're going to get someone. I promise. Promise. The possible two center fielders besides Lewis. Oh, okay. Yeah, I think there's a possibility. But we're going to have to wait. We're going to have to see how it goes. Robert Barone, good guy. Robert Barone. Oh my God, no, that was it. That was it. Oh man. Joe, the serious sorrow. Oh man. First time I heard your voice, I thought you were from New York. I kind of am. You know what I mean? Like I was in New York as a child. I was raised in a Brooklyn household. My mom is from New York. So yeah, but the culture is in me 100%. I bounced around a lot as a kid. I'm a Navy brat. But the culture on my grandmother and grandfather's side, my mom. I have more of a New York accent than my mom does, so she's from there. All right. So it's because of my grandparents. Like if my grandparents, you could tell in a second where they were from. And so I learned to talk in their home. You know what I mean? So, for the first like good chunk of my life, I didn't know I was in LA. Like I thought I was in New York. I thought I was in Brooklyn. Like it just the accent. And then my other grandmother's from like little outside Kansas City. So when I'd be around them, then I talk very fast. When I'd be around them, my lingo would kind of be forced to slow down because they could never understand me. So that's why my dialect is so messed up. Sergeant Slaughter Sorrow. Oh my God, I can do that. Jeff, do you feel there's a part of Bron that is choreographed? I remember you hitting that in the past. Correct me if no, that there is for sure. But that's with every megastar, every high level, high profile person that has a publicist and a team behind them. It's smart. It's good business. It protects the brand. So that's not a slight. That's just smart. What do you think about the perception of LA folks? Do you think that's just stereotype? I think so, because there's a lot of people in LA that aren't from LA. So yeah, it's definitely a stereotype. Joe the Serious Sorrow. Sounds like his next show. Joe the Serious Sorrow. It's like it was a dude. Was a dude from? I never watched the show, but my wife used to watch that trash ass show. What's that show about those guys from? Oh, Jersey Shore, right? The Situation, right? That was his name. The Situation. So Joe's like the serious. Joe the Serious Sorrow. Oh man, it's funny because like he's so like it's too easy because he's wound so tight, right? But he's funnier than people think he is. Jeff be confusing these Californians, man's everything LA but that voice. Yeah, I mean the voice, my music likes like, there's a lot of New York culture. There's a lot of New York things that I love more than LA. But yeah, like people think like would never know that I spent the majority of my life in LA. Like people wouldn't know that. Basically my whole life in LA. Like I've seen some LA folks and they say things like you gotta be from here to understand certain things. They don't like transplant crowd. It depends where you're at, and depends where you are. If you're moving into a neighborhood that is full of a bunch of people who are living from that neighborhood their whole life, then yeah, you pull up to Silver Lake or something. I don't care where you're from, man. Just be a hipster. Like it depends like what areas you're in and how you can act and what you can do. In the Star Wars universe, Joe is the Sith Lord. Oh my God, Joe is the Sith Lord. Imagine Joe like with using his Jedi just to get hot mustard out the cupboard. Oh my God, Joe is the Joe Sorrow experience, the Joe Serious Sorrow experience experiment. Now it's all jacked up in my mind. Jeffy, and I told you that you look like Roger Smith from the older 90s movies. Oh man, in Cuba, man. I heard a lot of different things, especially when I started getting on here, especially like the way I get roasted on like TikTok. And so IG is just a very sad place. There are so many angry and destroyed people on IG. They get on me, right? Like and I don't mind it. It's funny to me because they be going at my lazy eye, bro, like crazy. And so like you guys understand this happened. Like this was something that was caused. All right. But the funny thing about it is you talking sports and these dudes come out of nowhere with some of the most disrespectful stuff that most dudes will want to fight over. And I just start laughing because like, bro, all I did was say the Dodgers won and you're taking it there. It just really takes you really have to have thick skin or I'll poke back, but I'm laughing while I do it. And they're really angry. Like they're really angry. You should see some of these dudes on TikTok and IG. They're nuts. Not so much on YouTube. Not so much on YouTube. You get them every once in a while. You get someone who will be like somewhat disrespectful, but for the most part, they'll just challenge your take. But on IG, these dudes, man, they are tough in their mama's basements, bro. Let me tell you, they are very tough in their mother's basements. And they will go at you like crazy. You got to have thick skin out here. And then Joe be chiming in too. It's funny. Like I said, oh, man. Jojo Blinks. Jojo Blinks. Oh, my God, man. Everybody looked at Joe the Serious Sorrow experiment / experience. Close but not perfect. Jeff and Roger Governor Smith could be brothers. Oh my God. I got threats on Instagram there. So bro, I get crazy threats on Instagram, bro. Like crazy. I guess some of the, you know the funniest part about, it's funny because you guys talked about like how I sound on my voice. People on Instagram cannot figure out what I am. So some of the stuff I get called all kinds of racist comments, bro. They be hit me with Latino racist jokes like I'm Latino. They hit me with like light skin black jokes like I'm light skin. I rarely get the white boy. Like I rarely get that. But it's funny. They can't figure it out. They can't figure it out. And so I just have fun with them and just go back and forth with it. And the amount of people talking to me in Spanish on IG, it's crazy, bro. It's a party over there, man. It's a party over there. Let's see. Dodgers are in the National League. You are so stupid. You don't know baseball. Yeah, it's bro. I get some crazy. The stuff I get told on there, especially when I've been going out to Astros fans. If you only see my videos going to Astros fans, I got a battle with all the Trash Tros Nation. Trash Tros Nation and Angel fans hate my guts right now, right? I got one that's like almost 100K views on IG from a post I did on the Angels, and I was just asking a question. They went ballistic. A lot of people came out of OC and just came out the little the little closet over there or something, man. It was nuts over there, bro. They came with it. I don't know what pills they were popping, but they were going crazy over there, man. I never realized how big social is in general. Anaheim, San Diego, Koreatown, J-Town, Bangladesh, Santa Monica, Malibu, the downtown Compton, Inglewood. It's huge. Didn't know where to start. Yep, it's huge, very huge. Jeff isn't Roger Q. What's funny, I've been in Inglewood. It doesn't seem that bad. Well, Inglewood now is not the same as Inglewood then. Inglewood's been gentrified a little bit. Inglewood now is not what Inglewood was 20, 25 years ago. Was there only for a few hours shopping at Vaughn Sears with the fam. Jeff is a jack of all trades. We don't know what the hell you were. Bro, I'm telling you, and I'll tell you this though, in the sales world, which I'm a salesman, man. If at my fundamental stage, I'm a salesman, right? So being able to catch people off guard, especially on the phone, you get me on the phone, I could adjust to your dialect. I could adjust to you. So when I'm talking to different people, my whole lingo changes up, and it's comedy. It's comedy. So yeah, that's something I could definitely do. What's funny is half the thing is Jeff is legit homies, does show with content. Well, sorry. What's funny is half the thing is Jeff is legit. Homie does shows with content creators that do everything he against. I mean, that's the thing. Like I said, I don't tell anyone how to fan. I can't tell anyone how to do anything on their show. It's just different. It could be, it's like an artist making a record, right? Not every artist makes a record, make music the same way. But you know, you respect the grind. I've always said, I always respect every content creator's grind. Every time. Anyone who gets out there and does it, I respect their grind. Do I always love or do anything? Like, do I love all their takes? Do I co-sign them? No, I don't be faking like I co-sign it either, but I respect the grind. And like I said, Reg was always down with me. Reg was always cool with me. And Reg is the one that inspired me to do a channel. Like, he was always down with me. Like, Dad never inspired me to do a channel, but we did a lot of work together, right? But like, Reggie legitimately inspired me to do a channel. You know what I mean? Like, so even though we couldn't be more polar opposites from a content creator perspective, we couldn't be any different by how we do our shows. But the fact that we get along and have mutual respect, he gives me gems whenever I reach a milestone. He always congratulates me. Like, he's never hated on me, even though I'm not one of the guys that like does a show like him, right? Like, but that works for him. He's great at it. He's always showed love. He's always been down. And like I said, we couldn't be more polar opposites as far as how we do our shows. But we've always been down. We've always been cool. And you know, he's never disrespected me. Maybe there's a point he takes a clip off something I say he thinks is crazy, but you know, we've always been cool, right? And so there's also a lot of guys you'll work with, and then you know, they show love in the beginning, and then they just get weird sometimes, right? And you're like, okay, we'll just keep it pushing. You know what I mean? That's but with me, usually like everyone I work with, like I usually have a pretty good relationship with, right? So for me, even though they do something completely different than me, I can find my way in there, right? I can find my way. I can make it work because I'm cool with the person. I got respect for the person, and vice versa. So for me, it's just talking sports, man. It's not personal to me, right? This isn't my life. Some people, it's their life, so they take it a lot more serious because it's how they make their money. To me, I just come here and kick it, right? So, but yeah, me and Reg couldn't be any more different, right? As far as how we do shows, but we got a lot more in common as people that I think people would think. But as far as like how we do shows, we're mad different, but we're cool. We're cool, and I think you hit it on the head there, Ken. I think that's right. I think that's how you go about working with people. Is you can't just only work people that are just like you, because you want a little change of pace. You want something different, right? And it's cool. And there's certain people I got a lot more respect for than others. Cuba's hilarious. We need to get Detroit. Detroit. Oh man. On IG. Oh, IG people say my art and tees are trash. They won't say it to your face though. Yeah, that is stupid. Anyone say your tees are trash, or there's ones that can't afford them. That's a fact. Shit, I'm running 2 pages now as a content creator. Yeah, I'm struggling with one, man, just to get out here and do it schedule wise, man. It's a lot of work, man. Make sure to go support Cuba, man. That's my guy right there. Not on the main one that much anymore. It's too much right now. Okay, so send me a message. I don't know if I have your new one, Cuba, which is, I feel like a jerk for saying, but I don't be looking a lot like on YouTube as much as I used to. So I haven't put up on DJ's show in a minute. I feel bad about that. I just haven't had time. So I got to pull up on DJ and check in with him. So that's my guy over there. Shout out to Lakers of 5. Go subscribe to him as well. Lakers for life. What's going on, my guy? So what's good, brother Jeff? Get the likes up and subscribe to the channel if you are new, and tell a friend or family member about the channel and share your channel. Become a member to the channel. This must be Lewis. What's going on, Lewis? Appreciate you, bro. Why does do sound mad every single show, bro? Only seem to love Braun. Everyone else is the op to him. I mean, he's a Braun guy. I can't speak for him, and I don't want to. He's a Braun guy, and he's very good at creating content around that. Reg is very good at what he does. He is very good at what he does. If you're gonna try to out Reg, you're gonna get boxed in. I forever called him the 50 Cent of YouTube. Like, you got to be careful. You got to be careful if you're someone that wants to go at him. And I've never been a guy that has, because like I said, we get along, right? But I'm saying, like, for anyone that tries to go at him, you got to be careful, because you really can't beat him at his game. And if you try, you're taking it way more serious than he is. And from a standpoint of him worrying about you, right? So he just lays back and just trolls you and picks you to death, right? Which is very entertaining to me, right? Like I said, we are totally different, but the way he goes about it is incredible. He's great at what he does. He always has been. And that's why I like watching the show. So I probably will always watch his show. You know what I mean? Is because he's very great at what he does. And it's funny as hell, right? And especially like when someone thinks, oh, he called me out, I'm gonna go get him. I'm gonna go cook him. And then they just get you just read the wrong room, bro. You read the room wrong. But that's my guy. Shout out to Reg, bro. Shout out to Reg. Again, like, he's always been cool to me. You know what I mean? I can't speak for the man, so I don't want to, like, that's not you know what I'm here to do. I'm just here giving him his flowers, right? Because that's my guy. But he's always been cool to me. Never been disrespectful to me. I've never disrespected him. I don't see that changing. Let's see. Go support Reggie, man, over at the locker room, LA, man. This is Lewis. It's my new channel name. All right, got you, Lewis. Appreciate you, man. Appreciate you. Let's see. Make sure to go, if that's a channel, make sure go subscribe to Lewis's channel over there, man. My glorious, majestic Goat King. he just pokes fun at people, bro. But I know he don't like Austin. I know he don't like Luka and all that, but that's his prerogative. He can do what he wants. And I know he be going at Kobe fans and all that stuff, right? But he got respect for Kobe, man. He said numerous times he bought his shoes. He knows how great Kobe is. But he's a Braun guy. He's a Braun guy. It's okay. It's okay. People are going crazy like this is politics. It's not. It's sports. It's sports. Let's see. Do you feel when it comes to certain Laker media members, they view players differently because they see them on a daily basis? Like Jovan, you can tell who he is fond of and who he dislikes. Same with, you said same with Trev. I can't speak for them. And I mean, it's different though, because like, here's the thing. You have relationships with people. They tell you things. You get insight from them. You got to protect those assets. So sometimes it's not necessarily about kissing their ass. Sometimes it's about survival. It's about your career. And sometimes you got to be, until you've blown up to a spot where you're on a platform like something with millions and millions and millions of views. When you're someone like a Stephen A. Smith, you can almost talk about anyone because you're going to get the views. You're not going to get frozen out. When you're coming up, you know, you've got to be to a certain point. You've got to build your relationships. You've got to protect those relationships, because that's how you continue to get more of them. So while some may call it picking and choosing, some may just call it like you just got relationships with certain guys and certain guys you don't. Or you may know certain guys don't like you and you're never going to have a relationship with them. So it's fair game at that point, right? So it just depends on how it is. And I can't speak for those guys. They both do great work. And, you know, Trev, again, is all, I've never done a show with Jovan. But you know, Trev, whenever we've talked, he's always been great. He's given me a ton of gems. He's always shown me love, gave me great advice. And shout out to Trev. Shout out to Trev for sure. Let's see. Lewis, I'm gonna cook you, man. He said, yeah, right, Cuba. Oh, this is funny, man. Who's Reggie? Does he look 30? Here comes Joe, the serious sorrow. Reggie is fire. 100 pass ball to my key. Reg does play by play. Yeah, Reg is my guy. He's very different. He is a very, very big Braun fan. I wouldn't say he's anti-MJ and anti-Kobe. He's just so pro-Braun, right? That's his guy. He has the right to do it. And like I said, I can't tell no one how to fan, bro. Kobe's my guy. Kobe's my favorite player ever. He's my GOAT. But I don't force down on anyone else, and I don't got a problem with anyone else having their own GOATs. When's the next Joe the Serious Sorrow experiment experience, Joseph? Joe the Serious Sorrow. Honestly, the worst thing about being a beat writer is you run the risk of being the op with certain players. Yep, that's it. That is it. On that note, guys, on the that is it note, that is it. I'm gonna go ahead and shut it down for the night. Got to get up early tomorrow. So I appreciate you guys for tuning in. Dodgers got the win tonight, 5-3. Appreciate you guys for tuning in, spending time with me tonight. Dodgers ended the 2-game skid. Hopefully they can continue to win tomorrow in the following game, sweep these Rockies, get on a good get a good vibe going with this team moving in, get these guys healthy, get these guys well, and get some more wins in the column. And hopefully these punk-ass Padres and punk-ass Giants slow down some. We got to give credit and credit is due, man. Having a phenomenal start to the season, all jokes aside. So thank y'all. Stay safe. Enjoy the rest of your night. I'll catch you guys tomorrow. As always, let's go Dodgers. Let's go Lakers. I'm out of here. Search. Appreciate you, brother. You're the best. And I'll catch you guys tomorrow night if I'm not at the Dodger game. I'm not at the Dodger game. And if I am, maybe I'll do a couple of shorts or a quick live from the phone. But catch you guys tomorrow. I'm out of here. Peace.